investors that I'm going to be shooting a video on why I predicted the XAUUSD's buy correctly. So I think it was on Sunday in my Telegram group. I told them that XAUUSD is going to be buying. So look at it. It was on Sunday, February 15, that I made the post. Okay, now look at this XAUUSD's gold overview. So I told my students that this precious metal gold is on the move to hitting $6,000 and even beyond in a few months. Now I'm using this very opportunity, this very moment, to offer you a big opportunity Forex Genesis. So if you can afford $10 or $20, go to XNext, create a cent account where $10 becomes 1,000 cents and $20 becomes 2,000 cents. Then this makes it easier to avoid being liquidated easily. Buy gold, use good, buy good and reach something good. Yes, don't use big lot size and so on. And then when I did this very post, look at the chart of gold. Then so the chart of gold, like you see the chart of gold. So this was the first resistance, this was the second, this was the first support, the second support, the third support. And I told them that this very precious metal is likely to hit this very zone soonest. And I also mentioned that anytime it is going to be crossing this very resistance zone, then it is likely to keep buying, because this very resistance zone has held for a very long time. So when I did this very post, I think gold was at 5,000 something. Even after I made the post, it still reduced to around 4,000 something. And I believe that those of them that made good use of this very opportunity now is going to be, they are going to be a massive profit. So, and I first of all made the post, like I first of all informed my inner cycle group about it. So look at where I told them to go and buy gold.
That's what I would like you to do. This thing will really require patience, of course. So, but if you are not even patient enough to do it, just forget about it. So that thing is, if you can get $10 or $20, then go to your XNext. When you go to your XNext, open a cent account. Note what I said, not a normal standard account. I mean cent account, where your $10 becomes 1,000 cents and your $20 becomes 2,000 cents. So any one of your choice, you can do it. So when you open that very cent account, deposit $10 or $20. When you deposit it, then buy gold.
So you can see it, I told them to buy gold, and the date I made this very post, I think it was till maybe that February 15 or so. So now, why was I able to do this very thing right? Because looking at the current chart of gold is currently at like 5,160 something, and it even flew to 5,200, and so I believe this is likely a retracement. But if you shake these very two charts, you can see that the two of them are very, like, they are opposite. Yet there is a massive difference between this very chart now of gold and this very one currently on my trading view app. Now you can see it. So, and immediately it broke out of the zone, just like I mentioned earlier. Immediately it broke out of the zone, then gold started to buy. So how was I able to predict this very thing right? Because most of you guys will be wondering, like most of you that are aware of when I did this post will be wondering, hey, how was he able to predict this right? Now, to start with, I would like to tell us that I don't just trade Forex, I involve fundamentals in Forex trading. And then what do I mean by fundamentals? So this precious metal, which is called gold, is a very volatile asset, is a very volatile metal, XAUUSD. Then we have XAGUSD, which is silver, and then XAUUSD, which is gold. So what is gold all about? Gold is a precious metal, and this very gold is a safe haven asset. And whenever we talk about safe haven asset is an asset where whenever there is an uncertainty in the global market, investors tend to run to this very gold. So we all know that USD is like is just acting like the world power. Get so like USD is very, very powerful. They're acting like the world power. Everyone wants to have USD, but you know that USD can't keep on being stable all the time. So whenever it got issues, people will tend to go to their plan B, which is what? Gold. So gold is a safe haven asset, and gold is likely to keep on increasing in value, keep on multiplying your interest, like your returns. Gold is likely to keep on appreciating against USD. So but why was this so? Now looking at this very XAUUSD, which is gold, you can see this very gold coin here on my chart. So now during last week, there was what really happened in the fundamental, because I love using fundamental. You know, we have many types of analysis. We have technical analysis where you use your charts to detect what is going to happen in the market. Whenever price gets to your support zone, you buy. Whenever price gets to your resistance zone, you then sell. So, and we have the sentimental analysis, the one you use your mind. What is your mind telling you about the market? Is the market likely to buy or sell? That is your own self-confidence. And sentimental analysis is very, very important, because you can't go on to buy a particular market or sell it without you having a strong sentiment that this market is going to do it. So every one of them are very important. Then, but what is this fundamental all about? Because this fundamental analysis is the one that almost everyone ignores it. So fundamental analysis is the act of using global news to understand where the market is going. So because there was at a certain time I was trading the forex market, so I was having some profits, then I was still learning, so I was practicing with my account, demo account, so, and I was learning. That was the first time I encountered this very fundamental of a thing. So immediately I saw a very whoosh candle dropped and everything almost got wiped out, and I was asking myself, what is the problem all about? And I had to go to my mentor and told him, guy, look at this very candlestick, very, very long. It can, the height of it can even contain 5 normal candlesticks. What is 5, even 10? So, and he told me about these fundamentals, and that was when I developed massive interest for fundamental analysis. So what is this very fundamental analysis all about? Fundamental analysis is using global news, every one of them, to analyze the market, to know what the market is all about. And you know, we have the forexfactory.com. This is where we are going to be seeing the news we are going to be having for the week, and every of these very news have impact in the global market, you get. So, and if you can study this very news very well, then implement it in your technical analysis very well, believe me, you are good to go. So, but there is this very website that I love using for my fundamental analysis, and I call it what? Reuters.com. So Reuters.com is a very powerful website whereby when you go to it, you are going to be seeing almost everything that you need. You are going to be seeing how investors are always being interviewed. You know, every of these very markets like GBP USD, Euro USD, every one of them, they have investors investing in them. So you're going to be seeing the Euro guy, how he's talking, how he's explaining various things that they are like, how he's explaining their next move, maybe the European guys, their next move. And this thing is going to give you hint. It's going to give you like hint on what you are going to be doing. Okay, since this Euro guy is saying that they are very, very strong, and this American guy is not sounding as though they are going to be resilient, that means I'm going to be investing in Euro. So that is why every one of these are very, very important. So I use Reuters.com for my fundamental analysis too. And there was what happened during last week. So now currently on my screen you can see the morning bid. Trump fumes against the world as his tariff come up short. So what really happened? So now we know that President Trump is a very, very powerful guy. He's the president of America, and he's one of that guy that we always say put America first. So he likes to put America first. Of course, you always like your own country. So what then happened? Because he loves America and he's putting America first, he went ahead to be imposing tariff on many countries, like on the goods of many countries that they were importing to America. What does this mean? Now, for example, President Trump is going to be telling the Chinese guys, so before you be able to invest in a country, bring your goods so that my people will buy. Then instead of you to pay $100, you're going to be paying $150 now. He will also do it to the Mexican guys, Canadian guys. And what these guys are going to do is that they will retaliate back. They will be like, oh, since you are doing this for us, that means that we are now going to be increasing the price at which we are selling to your own people. And you know that Americans, some of them cannot afford it, and because of this very thing now, they will now stop investing or stop buying from these very foreign guys and then start investing in their own. Yes, they will focus on their own. So, but this thing is not actually bad, because it's not actually good, because the American now will see their, like, they will now start having expensive goods because they are now using only that of the American goods. So none is coming in again, because those guys are actually bringing their own goods to America in order to make profit. So imagine where you go to invest in a particular country and they keep on telling you to pay big tax, whereas those countries, they are not really buying enough from you. You are going to feel tired. You are going to say, oh, let me just stop investing in this very country, let me go out to another country. After all, this country is not the only country existing. So that was how the American goods, they now started using more of the American goods, I mean the American, and because of this, things became expensive. And now the court of law, they had to they had to challenge President Trump, telling him, no, enough of this tariff, stop placing tariff on these countries, because this is really affecting us, you get. So because of this very thing, there is a powerful uncertainty now, a very great uncertainty now in the global market, whereby President Trump is very angry, saying, how can these guys tell me to stop placing tariff? How can you guys tell me that, whereas I'm trying to fight for America? So because of this very thing now, stocks rose. And you know that stocks, whenever stocks are rising, it means that the USD is in problem. But currently on my screen, you can see something. Stocks, US stocks, and end sharply lower amid AI fears tariff and NGST. Okay, now Wall Street stocks tumbled on Monday as ongoing fears of artificial intelligence related disruption and the fallout from Friday US Supreme Court ruling sent investors fleeing from the high risk equity. So now the grammar, everything, the encapsulation of it all is that the US stocks too, currently as I'm shooting this very video, is also like investors are also having big uncertainties about it because of the AI related matters. So now imagine the situation whereby USD is in trouble, now stocks too are also shaky. That means that XAUUSD is going to what? Is going to really increase in momentum, because XAUUSD and USD, they are inversely related. That means whenever XAUUSD is appreciating, USD is going to be depreciating. Whenever USD is having problem, XAUUSD is going to be doing fine. When USD is doing fine, XAUUSD is not going to be doing fine. Now, if you check most of these videos, guys, which I've almost followed, like I can't go on to keep playing them one after the other. So but when you go to Reuters.com, just go to Reuters.com, then click on markets, then scroll down, you're going to be seeing every videos. Look at those guys there. Can you see these very guys by my right? So these are the big guys who, when you watch them daily, you are going to be discovering their moves. So, and then let me play this video. Okay, Wall Street stocks. Okay
1% and the Nasdaq falling just over 1%. Ongoing fears of AI-related disruption and the fallout from Friday's U.S. Supreme Court ruling on tariffs, including President Donald Trump's erratic statements on trade policy, sent investors fleeing from high-risk equity.
Yeah, that sent investors fleeing from high-risk equities. And what does this mean? Now, for example, if also you want to get this right, I love working with my AI friend too, which is Gemini or ChatGPT. You can just copy this thing or even go to it and ask it question. Oh, that is what I really saw. I don't really understand this thing. Now, can you explain it for me? Just like I told it. What does this mean? Sent fleeing from high-risk equities. So on, like I copied it, and then this is what is explained to me. And then there is this very verse that I love mostly. Now, why this is extremely important for you, the gold connection. Now, Favour, as a gold XAUUSD trader, this news is actually music to my ears. So the rule of gold is that when Wall Street tumbled and investors flee from stocks, where do they go? They go to gold. So gold is the world's ultimate safe haven, and when the world is scared of AI or the Supreme Court, they buy gold to protect their world. You get? So now, have you seen this very thing now? So that means that even my friend is also aware that I follow up these very fundamentals very well. So looking at gold now, and also if you check the past chart of gold, you can see that gold has been in a big upward momentum. Now look at where it also had its first all-time high before, like all-time high before. Then it dropped. This was likely a profit taking. Then it started to buy. It will buy, drop to form a higher low, buy, drop to form a higher low. And once it broke above this very zone, like first of all it broke above these very supports, this very low, small resistance zone, it broke above it here, then it bought, it then broke above this very one, the major support of the all-time high before, then it bought really big time. And now look at the current all-time high we are having right now. It dropped again. This is likely a profit taking, and then it went up again from this very higher low, respecting this very resistance zone for a very long time. And it was really incredible how it breaks above this very all-time low, like all this very lasted resistance zone, then it broke above it. And this is a very powerful good news so for gold buyers. So this means that gold is on a move to traveling back all the way to previous all-time high, which is around 5.6. And if gold is able to do this very thing, like if gold is able to get here, that means that we are going to expect gold to keep flying and flying and flying. because as long as the market is concerned, gold is likely to keep appreciating against USD, because USD is currently in trouble, like not really in trouble, but like in the midst of many uncertainties. Because if you check my forexfactory.com, for those of you guys who are familiar with what Forex Factory is all about, you can see that every news here isn't really favoring the USD. You can see it, the CPI, like news is favoring the CPI because 0.2% to 0.4% is a powerful news, like it's a good news for the AUD. You get, when it comes to CPI, because inflation, increase in number of inflation should favor a particular currency. Now coming to that of 3 a.m, which is the one we're going to be having on Wednesday, as for the time of recording this very video. So President Trump is going to be speaking, and is likely to be emphasizing on the reason why the court stopped him from placing tariffs. And you know that it's not going to be sounding too nice. It's not going to be sounding too nice. And when all these things are happening, investors don't like where they are, where there is disruption, where there is confusion, where there are uncertainties. They love things that are very clear and straightforward. So this speech now is likely to still push them towards to not invest in USD. And then too, we have on Thursday by 2:30 p.m. a news on USD. And this very news is what unemployment claims, measuring the number of people that are unemployed. Imagine the number of unemployed people climbing from 206,000 to 217,000. It is also not what favoring USD. And then too, we have the news on CAD here, which is also likely to favor CAD, but for USD is not going to favor USD, because PPI and CPI are almost the same thing. PPI, product price index, CPI, consumer price index. Product price index is just all about the number of products, the number of productions going on in the country, and it needs to always increase in value in order to favor the currency. So imagine now the product price index of USD dropping from 0.5% to 0.3%. It is also not a good news for the USD. So overall, USD is likely to keep decreasing for now, like keep dropping for now. You get, so that is why I predicted that the market is likely to keep climbing. And remember that when I did the post, I think when I made the announcement, gold was likely here before it now dropped, and then it kept on buying, and I knew that. And I also made a post that once it break this very zone, it should buy. Currently it is buying. So, and now most of my students, I think most of them traded it. And currently, let me show us the trade of current students. So this very guy is very powerful too, because I said that you should open a cent account where your $10 become 1,000 cents, and then $20 become 2,000 cents, and he's currently on the gold buy. You can see it, he's currently on the gold buy. $15 that is 1,500 cents. Then the equity running, like the pending profit, like the floating profit is currently 1,022 cents, and he even sent me last night it got to 1,200 something cents, and this thing is likely to keep on increasing as long as gold keeps buying. You understand? So have you seen why gold really bought big time? So you are really missing a lot if you are not in my mentorship, because all these things are things that I break down very well, like ABC, so that you guys will understand. It is not all about drawing lines on the chart. You get? And also, I would like to use this very opportunity to introduce you to my gold calculator, because like when I started trading, I really found it difficult calculating the lot size of gold. Gold is a very powerful asset, but sometimes if you don't risk something nice, you are going to be almost risking all. So that was why I made this very calculator. Like I built this very website majorly for gold calculation. So yeah, it got the home tools, learn, contact, and etc. And then this is also my powerful trading book, Forex Milk, which is going to change the way you trade the financial market. And if you want to buy, you can just click on this very buy now, and then get instant access immediately. Now look at gold here. Let's assume now you have a $1,000 account, and then you want to be risking 1%, and then the stop loss pip on your gold is what, 1.4220. Then when you click on calculate, it's going to be telling you the direct loss size you use for gold. Then it will also explain it clearly that you are going to be risking 0.10% of your account. Then dollar risk per pip, that is, you are going to be risking $0.01 per pip. Then the recommended loss size you should use is 0.100, which is actually not good because it's literally little. Now let's try to increase our risk per trade. Let's try to risk maybe $10 or let's say $100 per trade, and then hit calculate. The loss size is going to be making sense now. So you are risking 10%, then $0.70 per pip, and then 0.07 loss size is what you are going to be using. So have you seen it very well? So this is my trading calculator for gold. So with this very thing that I explained now, I believe that you should find it interesting in trading gold. So don't forget that you should subscribe to my YouTube channel, and if you're interested in learning forex trading, remember that I have a free section where I can also get you in. So my students are really doing great, and they are really impressing me. So don't forget to share this very video, like, subscribe to my telegram channel, YouTube channel, and every one of them. The link to all of them are under the description of this very video.